if you're going to go towards Nuguri on this Jace pick, that's where you can start to lay your head here as RNG.
Well, the Jace will be trading hands this time around. They do not want Xiaohu on that, what has been a very staple comfort in the first round of rotations, or first round of picks, and it's going to be the Kaiser here for Gala. So LWX, sadly for you, left a lot to be desired in game 2 on his Kaiser, but it is going to be the Olaf here picked up. So early pressure, still a pretty decent clear, and giving themselves a lot of that kind of, like, you know, again, early options.
Yeah, and I think here as well, you can still do a lot. You know, if you do end up going towards something like the Rel, you can give a lot of engage tools towards something like the Olaf. I mean, Olaf is balanced around the fact he only slows, he doesn't CC. You take the Rel, that does a lot, but it is going to be given towards Chris. And now when you look towards FPX, you've got to go, right, what are we actually going to go for here? Maybe something like the Gragas or the Rakan, which at least can give some disengage, some opportunities to engage for yourself, but more importantly, get control in this bottom lane, because when we look towards this Kai'Sa being able to get priority levels 1 to 3, it's going to be so important for Wei playing down towards this bottom side.
And important to note with the Gragas, it is still technically a flex that can go up towards that top side. We have seen Xiaohu take it multiple times, and this is something that RNG can work on. So they don't know for sure that the Jace is going to top. They need to make sure where that one's kind of going for them, and they still have themselves open. But that level 2 or 3 in that bot side for FPX is terrifying.
It is terrifying, but I want to go back one statement further. You talked about putting that Jace mid. Well, you ban the AP junglers, you can't stick that Jace mid. Lilia taken off the board, Nidalee could be next to follow. Something along the lines of a Nocturne as well wouldn't be too surprising here, as you could actually see that fairly handily go into hands of Tien or Doombi in this situation.
You can still go with the Nocturne and, of course, the Karthus, something we have seen that exact combination work for FPX, but I like what FPX are trying to do here. They're trying to bait it out. They're saying, we don't believe that's a Gragas support right now. We believe that's a Gragas top side, and we're going to be chucking in the Nautilus and the Rakan ban, so you have to try and chuck it into support.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you can still go towards something like the set or something along these lines in that bottom lane if you wanted to. You still have options there, but certainly I would actually really like the oh, give it to me. I'm going to hang on a second. I'd like the Nocturne here for Tien, simply because I think in this situation, when you're looking at quite a lot of dive opportunities, you can use that paranoia to get rid of all that, but it doesn't matter. They're going to go towards the volley bear anyway, setting up for a strong front line for themselves, something to dive in with the Rel. And there you go. Doombi has picked this twice. This is the third time now, and every single time it's been into this Orianna. He is yet to die on this pick. He looks unstoppable, and he has 10 kills, and I think it's like a 21 KDA if he dies.
That's exactly what you want, and looks like FPX is, I suppose they're kind of like, their intuition, if you will, was correct. It is going to be the Gragas up into that top side, going to be Leona here in the bot lane. And I'm so excited right now. This Akali, it is one of the cleanest things. It literally made Twitter explode when people saw the replays. It was such a clean execution. It was nasty. And this is something that Doombi can do, but it's the thing, they've got plenty of time right now. For FPX, you can swap the Akali and the Jace. Both players do play it, but I would like to see it more in Doombi's hands.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, he's picked it up several times. The Orianna, it basically means that he's able to farm it up. Cryin isn't able to punish as heavily into the Akali, and then eventually become this monster in that dive alongside the volley bear, and also looking towards that Rel. You've still got backline carries that are going to be situated between the Jace and the Tristana. It makes for a very, very potent team fight composition, and causes a ruckus in the backline as well when you look towards RNG, because you're trying to deal with that as a short-range Kai'Sa, you're trying to deal with this Akali being there as the Orianna as well. It ends up being super, super difficult to deal with. And I want to look at this early game as well, because honestly, you've now, with the Leona locked in, have pushing bot lane coming in for FPX, pushing top lane for Nuguri in that top side as well, and it feels like Tien has more opportunities now to link up with that bottom side and start to invade or play through Nuguri in that top lane.
If the first 2 games of this series taught me anything, is that if you win the early game, you're going to lose the game. That's what this game has taught me, as we are jumping onto the riff.
Logic is infallible.
It's infallible. Results-based analysis. We are jumping onto the riff for the 3rd time, which will not be the final time. FPX on blue, RNG on red. Winner of this game goes to match point in this best-of-5 final. And we got ourselves the super carry Doombi on the Akali in the mid lane. Crowd already. They're going to have to keep their energy. You can tell they're not as hyped this time around because they're like, all right, we guarantee you got a game 4, maybe a game 5 where we really got to bring it out. But mentioned about the early games. I'm curious to see now where the pathing is going to be. You can already see pretty much both junglers kind of seeing out where they want to start. Pretty much guaranteed that we're going to see Tien go towards that bot side. Something that we mentioned a couple of times, and even if we did mention our broadcast, we mentioned it quite a few times in our prep. Tien will always naturally start towards the dragon side of the map and path his way up.
Yeah, especially when Nuguri has such an advantage in that top side. As Jace, you want to make sure that he's going to be able to save, be safe to push in. You can then play off of Nuguri having that initial wave 3 crash to look towards a scuttle. It just works very, very nicely here. And on the upside, Wei is going to try and play down towards this bottom side of the map. Now, in the early stages, we said already that because of Gala being able to at least get that Q, he should have some push. But the bigger problem was going to be the support matchup. RNG, though, because they don't have to help out with the clear, will get to the wave first, guarantees themselves the level 2 and the push first, and it looks like, at least in this situation, they will be able to help out Wei when he gets towards this bottom side with a scuttle of his own.
Oh, the supportal combat for the Bush of Power has been won by Ming, as you have to respect his level 2 now will be able to come out from the Kai'Sa and Leona. Shield of Daybreak, which I mistakenly called the Dawning Shadow in the other game, is going to be a nice effective tool for just kind of keeping this horsey in range. And see now with Tien now being caught out, so there's good actual vision here from RNG, knowing exactly where Tien's starting, keeping tabs on him, making sure they're not getting caught out. Yeah,
it's something that teams will do a lot is when you have this hard push in the mid lane, say it's into an Akali or a Sylas, something that's not too good at dealing with the range matchup. You'll always go and try and plunk that ward, spot out where Tien is. And
flash forward, but he flashes away, and LWX is trying to flash up on top of him. He gets to jump down on top of it. One more auto attack for Iden, he's AD carry. They're doing it to the right. Oh my god! It's Gala! And the Ferromancy comes back down. Get him! The Shield of Daybreak! And Christmas nowhere to go! The bot lane double kill! Gala!
One mistake from FPX and RNG can punish. They go in aggressive. Gala aim to flash away, and there's just no follow-up. There's nothing left in the tank. RNG get the double kill for the Kai'Sa.
What a way to start this one. And that was FPX. FPX were looking for that fight. They felt, and we mentioned it in Pick and Ban, the level 2 from that bot lane of Tristana and Rel is terrifying. But RNG did not panic. He didn't flash back to his turret. He flashed over the wall, forcing the different damage. And this was just so good.
The difference here is the summoner spell choice. Yes, the Ignite goes down, but Gala has the heal, which he's already used in this situation. The cleanse, yes, does work.
He missed the ward!
Oh, the ward does go wide, yes. So the ward goes wide, you get the extra health coming out from that heal as well versus the cleanse. And here, Chris, unfortunately, takes that step too far forward. Massive, massive brain from Gala in that situation to walk back towards the support, knowing that you slide forward as the Rel and you won't be able to catch because of the situation going on when you get off that horse.
And just the presence of mind to recognize that they didn't have vision. He walks back in, it cancels an auto attack. He walks back out, it cancels another auto attack. These are the small little plays that are going to get you into this final and out to MSI in Iceland. That's what's on the line, and these guys are honestly, throughout this entire series so far, playing out of their damn minds.
And it's a game of inches at this level. When you get to the highest tiers in the LPL, every little mechanic, every button press means something, and you can see it there. One mistake from LWX, and it's a disaster. Now RNG, yes, they've got this wave pushing out, but Tien, he kind of just pops his head in to say hello. He's not going to get anything here. RNG are looking for this slow push where when you have wave coming off of the reset here, they can turn this big wave in towards a dragon.
Oh, Zenith Blade, not quite able to hit up there onto LWX, but it's also kind of a natural, I suppose, disadvantage you get with someone like a Tristana. She passively pushes the wave with those extra damage on her passive on her W, so she is just naturally going to push that wave into the opposition side, not really able to kind of make something happen there for Tien. So like you said, pops his head in, kind of says, "My lady," and backs himself out because he just has nowhere to go. And that does mean that the early pressure that now RNG have garnered with the High Noon Quiver for the 2 kills on top of Gala, they get the first Drake, they get that counter going exceptionally early, 5.5 minutes, and this is now another kind of momentum swing in favor of RNG.
Now, because we've had a lot of action down towards this bottom lane, we do actually see Nuguri at least getting that advantage in towards the top side. Xiaohu will TP in, so Nuguri won't actually be able to get much damage on towards this top side. But at least Nuguri is doing well in this Jace matchup. It's just a case of he needs to accelerate faster because of the way Xiaohu's going to play these fights. Because Xiaohu is just a disengage tool, right? He wants to stop TN coming in. He's going to be throwing down these casks every time Akali goes into the Shroud to just disintegrate any sort of opportunity to hide in the shadows and playing around the invulnerability in fights.
Now you can see here, Tien is around. Trade back here on top of Nuguri. They trade about half their health bars each, but Tien is here. They pop down a ward, so they now know there's a Akali here coming as well. They track Repel, the Ferromancer. We got fights on two fronts. We're going to focus on the top side. One Tien.
Wait!
Oh, the perfect execution is good, but it's only a trade of 1-for-1. And FPX, they do not get the advantage they wanted.
It's 1-for-1. Yes, Xiaohu won't be able to get top side here with all the CS, but my eyes are drifting towards the bot lane because either Cryin gets all these turret plates mid, or he can join in with the rest of RNG on this bottom side of the map. There's no one here to keep FPX's bot lane safe.
LWX very, very smartly just pushes himself towards the turret, gets himself the buffer with the rocket jump, and gets himself the safety. Wei completely clears out that bot side jungle. And like you said about that, Cryin now pushing into that mid lane, gets himself a bit of, a bit of a CS advantage, a couple of plates going towards him as well. And now you're on RNG wondering where the rest of the team, where do you want to try and push this advantage? Because FPX, they are cemented in top side.
Yeah, but this is a game where RNG doesn't look to play through Xiaohu, right? They want to be playing down through this bottom side. I mean, you're on Gragas. The whole point is to just clear the wave, keep yourself safe. Nice job, by the way, from Xiaohu to turn that kill back in his favor so he doesn't lose out as much as he could. But if I'm RNG here, I just played through Dragons. I'm just like, cool, we've got Gala with 2 kills. He's very far accelerated. Let's just make sure that we can keep Cryin with this push in mid, we continue to set up these dragons, and then we can look for team fights where FPX isn't really in a situation to try and fight us.
And again, we're seeing Ming kind of linking up with Wei, this jungle support duo that is just so important in this meta right now. You walk around like a roaming Doom squad, if you will, and Tien on these wolves, gonna try and maybe defend his blue. Gonna find a lot of people here. There is Nuguri around the corner.
I don't like this from RNG. They're not playing towards Gala, which is where all the gold is.
All the gold is on Gala. The smite goes down. It's actually Xiao who picks up the blue, and they're going to look for the fight now as they flash in. The Shockwave is still available. Perfect execution, not quite that perfect. Shockwave knocks back 2. There it is. Flash out. Doomby not quite able to get the kill. The AD carries are playing PvE. They want nothing to do with this as the rest of his team all back away.
And this is the thing, like all your gold is on Gala as RNG, so when you opt into this 4v4 topside, the strongest member on FPX is Nuguri. You're playing towards FPX's strengths, which is not what you want to do. You either fully commit towards this bottom side or you got to give up the Rift Herald. And right now, they're trying to do too much on the map. And FPX, it looks like at least with Tien coming back topside, will get this Rift Herald. And RNG just lucky they didn't lose more.
Yeah, RNG lose a flash off Ming, off Wei. They lose a couple of ultimates. It was not the worst trade in the history of the world, but Wei wants to go for a little bit of a round 2, and Tien has to respect it.
Gala is moving up. That's the difference here. The fact that the Kais is on her way means that, honestly, FPX, they're just going to trade this for turrets on the bottom side, or at least turret plates even on the bottom side, as RNG, with the numbers advantage, should be able to force them back. And now Gala starts to teeter his way back down towards the bottom side.
I think that's because you see Gala going back towards that bottom side. RNG don't feel comfortable going for the Rift Herald right now. They know they haven't got their strongest member. They haven't got all that gold pumping up towards the top side.
It means, though, if we are talking about, stacking dragons for RNG, they're going to have to make a trade here, right? 40 seconds until that next dragon's up. FPX are already in prime position on top side. So you've either got to, as RNG, give up Rift Herald, but you've also got to be very careful because of where the wave is positioned right now. Doomby can shove in, link with Tien, dive topside, and then just fall back in towards Rift Herald, or use the Rift Herald they get to crack open top tower because it's only got 3 turret plates left.
That's the thing. You're giving Nuguri gold. You're giving the man in the top side who we've seen do so much stuff if you can get that Rift Herald.
RNG aren't giving up Rift Herald. Look at where Kai'Sa is. Gala's coming up. They're like, cool, we need to try and stop this from accelerating in the top side of the map. If Nuguri gets ahead, that's a disaster for us. So RNG, they're just going to answer with Gala moving up. Guarantee the Rift Herald. And because FPX invested so much on towards this top side, they're not really in a position to go towards Dragon just yet.
They are getting some vision down, some nice deep wards, but there is a little cheeky one there on top of Doonby that is going to spot him out. So you can see now RNG trying to just walk around, see if they can catch out any of the members of FPX. Rift Herald goes down, that gets picked up by Wei. They now know he's on the top side of the map. A couple of plates over to LWX, he gets those solo. And now we see the Dragon Dance. It's no longer the Rift Herald dance, it's the Dragon Dance. It's both sides really want to try and stack these global objectives.
This one, though, is firmly in favor of RNG. TP available for Xiaohu. Gala is stronger. He's already got that back. He's a serrated dirt up over at LWX. And Tien, he's stuck in the pit.
He has to ult away. Shield of Daybreak is there, but now you do not have that ultimate available to you. An ultimate for an ultimate, you're going to be able to use these Rift Herald wherever you please, but you have gotten control back into this bot side.
I'm a little bit scared of Nuguri, Penguin. He's
already
got the Eclipse done. He's very quickly working towards that Manamune. He's already getting more turret plates as well. It's this is going to be a big Jace, and when you are such short range on RNG, that is terrifying.
Not only that, but you look at how FPX play this game. Oh, explosive cast. Going to be used there on top of Nuguri to get him away from the turret. But we talk about how FPX play and why Nuguri is so good at what he does. He's not just I win lane and I keep pushing. When he gets his tower early, he impacts the rest of the map.
Yeah, we set it up at the early stages. FPX are the best team, in my opinion, at powering through their strongest player in the map. You'll see Nuguri take down this top lane turret, shift mid, look for picks, try and use that range advantage in mid lane. But RNG are trying to commit to bot. They do get the charge, but very wary that Doomby's missing in mid lane, and they will back away.
Yeah, you cannot take a fight there, even 4v4 with a TP advantage against someone like Doomby. He's just got a Knife Harvester finished up. He would have had a massive amount of kill potential onto your Kai'Sa, or hell, even anybody at that stage, and you have to respect it. So, they get the charge, they don't get anything else really, and it's not just about 1,000 gold, just a little bit under it in favor of RNG, but that's going to be pretty much equaled out now when we see these turret plates go over to the side of FPX.
So, I'm FPX, right? I have just seen Cryin use that TP into mid. I am running straight towards top side. You can already see Tien making his way there. Xiaohu's already taken low, and you've got Crisp in the vicinity as well. I'm looking at a top lane dive if I'm FPX right now.
Well, looks like RNG believe it to be true as well. They chuck up Wei, they chuck up the side of Cryin as well to try and make sure there is no kind of cheating up towards that top side. And they're just trying to keep their top laner as safe as possible. You have the Night Harvester, you have the Eclipse, like you mentioned. You've got a lot of tools here to be able to dive this Gragas, and I think it's actually going to be the Everfrost Gragas coming out here for Xiaohu. Wei misses one, misses two, misses three. 3 for 3, nothing going to hit.
No, nothing at all. Nice ways to just kind of step around that. And I think the big thing here, here's that dive though.
Here it is. Xiaohu isn't that tanky right now. As he goes in, they're going to disable the turret straight away. And there's just no escape, even without explosive cast. Feel like he was going to die anyway. That's all the plates now going off. So we hit the 14-minute mark, and that is going to be FPX proving to you, Dag, that you are a prophet of the terms of the dive. You called it. Nuguri gets himself... Actually, no, it wasn't even Nuguri. It was Tien who picks up the kill. Still, though, 0-0-2 for Nuguri.
I mean, it's every turret blade. It's the tower going down. Like, Nuguri's fine. He's pretty happy with that. Now as well, like, this is where FPX get dangerous. This is what we are kind of talking about. Watch the way Nuguri starts to play this. He pushes in top, he'll reset, he'll move towards mid, and then start to try and use the fact that you've got like a range advantage here to crack open that mid lane tower as well. And especially when you got Tien here, they can start to work towards a lot of deep vision on this top side jungle.
See there, 4 plates going up into the top side. Only 2 there for Gala, so of course they were able to take those 2 plates and put them onto Wei, so not really the worst in the world. But now we're seeing Mythics being finished up here pretty much across the board here for FPX. We talked about the Equips, you now have the Turbo Chem Tank, you have the Night Harvester and the Kraken Slayer for the Tristana, versus only the Kraken Slayer here for the side of for Gala. And that's going to be a little bit of a power trough here for the side of RNG.
And here comes the resets though from FPX. So Doomby is going to make his way bot. You can see LWX is already making his way mid. And although you talk about kind of RNG being in a bit of a slump, I wouldn't say it's too bad of a slump right now. Certainly, I think you can still do a lot of work with how far Gala is ahead. Wei being relatively strong, nearly finishing that Stridebreaker. Everfrost just finished for Xiaohu. You're in a precarious situation when it comes to map state though as RNG, as FPX are going to start to really amp up the pace here.
Well, Everfrost just gets picked up there by Xiaohu. See if they can get the Gore Drinker or Stridebreaker for Wei into that jungle position before this one. There it is. Stridebreaker finished up. Thank you very much, Wei. Maybe see that one. And this is the AP Gragas, and this is something that I quite like seeing as well, because it does give you a kind of push mitigation. You have actually pretty decent wave clear if you let those barrels just sit for a bit.
It's not even for me just the fact he's AP, it's just the value of Everfrost against these compositions from FPX. Like, we're talking about the...
Whoa!
Oh, hello, Gala. You feeling a little bit sore? For the dive composition from Tien, from Crisp, from Doomby, Everfrost is just so good. We just saw from Cryan, right? Every time someone from FPX tried to dive into RNG, Cryan was like, sorry, I'm not having it today. Shutting it off at the door.
Here we go, Tien. Just walking in towards this bot side. 30 seconds until the dragon spawns. Very important for FPX to pick this one up. It would stop RNG from getting onto Soul Point. It is an infernal map, which does open up a hell of a lot of terrain, or rather lack of terrain, for the likes of Doonby, for the like of Nuguri to find themselves an option. Ming goes in, forces the cleanse, forces the flash, but there's a TP. The Everfrost is there. LWX hasn't got a hope or a prayer, and he's going to go down, as is the Rel. It's a fight on two fronts. Ming goes golden and keeps RNG in this fight. There's Xiaohu, though, finding himself on top of Nuguri. Explosive cast not quite good enough, and RNG still chucking for these fights. The shockwave, Doomby goes back to his thing. He goes in with the perfect execution. And speaking of perfect execution, Doomby trying his best, trying to go for it, picks up one, will not be able to pick up another. It's 5 kills all the way over to RNG and the third Drake.
The ace for RNG, the third dragon for RNG, and that, my friends, is war difference. That was positioning coming through from Xiaohu, having that perfect flank thanks to the vision control prepped by RNG on this bottom side, versus Nuguri, who had to go the whole way down to that bottom lane. This is how RNG make their advantages.
You're our Infernal Soul Point. You've just given over a motherload of gold as well, evenly spaced out through everyone, and you can see there 2-2-2, 0-2 as we look at this fight replay.
So watch where the TPs come in. Xiaohu's at the cutoff point, whereas when you look at Nuguri, he's got to go the whole way down towards bot side. So not only do you get this great engage from Ming, LWX has nowhere to go. He gets cut off by Xiaohu, Wei's killing Crisp in the pit, and then it's just wrangling people into the waiting hands of Xiaohu. Now, Nuguri tries to turn this around, but he just doesn't have enough, especially when he knows the rest of RNG are coming. Gala gets a range for the Killer Instinct, and at this stage, it's just outplaying FPX. As Doomby, to end that, will pick up one, but it doesn't matter.
As I said, the damage is done. Now you're looking down the barrel of Infernal Soul Point. You also lose out
22 minutes.
At 22 minutes, but not only that, you're also losing out on this Rift Herald, which is going to be even more pressure, more tempo in favor of RNG. And now RNG, they just need to try and bring it home. They need to make sure the nerves and then the excitement, yes, the adrenaline is fantastic, but you still have very palpable threats here on FPX. Nuguri, Doonby, and LWX will blow you up if given enough time.
And if you need to double check that, look at the gold lead. It's 1,000 gold. Despite the fact that RNG got this big win, despite the fact that RNG have the objective control, there is still that threat of Nuguri. Xiaohu is not strong enough to deal with him in a side lane. Cryan is not strong enough to deal in the side lane, especially if Tien is willing to play towards Nuguri as well. It is nigh on impossible to deal with. So for FPX, that's where you're hanging your hopes right now. Can Nuguri play heavy enough through a side lane and catch RNG unaware?
If, the buts, the what ifs, all the what buts, they will all be answered. As we see now, LWX going to find Wei. Stridebreaker, though, pretty damn safe to keep himself there. The rest of LPX in tow. That's going to be a very scary Scryer's Bloom to reveal. As now the mid lane becomes the focus here for FPX. You still have the side lanes pushing in their favor. They've got a little bit of a stack wave in the bot side, but RNG, they need to be careful here.
And this was a play I thought we'd see FPX go for sooner, where you'd actually instead keep Doomby bot side, but just group and use the fact you've got this massive range discrepancy. But RNG never really gave him the opportunity, never gave the TPs.
Solar Flare! It lands, and that's going to force Doomby into an early Zhonya's. The shockwave is enough to only catch one. The Olaf is dead. It's FPX turning this one around completely. But there's the Kaiser. There's one. There's two. Can Kaiser get any more? There's three. Kaiser with the Kaiser. Gala!
He's doing it again! He's doing it again!
Kill for Gala!
Gala is a monster in this game! He outsmarted FPX not once, but twice, and this time slams 5 members of FPX into the dirt.
In these games, you need to step up. There are no excuses. And Gala stepped up. This was all FPX.
And it's on the goddamn Kai'Sa. We talked about this all damn day. This guy is so good. This is the playmaking champion that he needs. And you see here, Doombi nearly turns this fight around. Amazing play on this Akali. But Gala is positioned perfectly, flashes away from Nuguri, holds that killer instinct for so long. And once again, Crisp is left high and dry. He's been teased by Gala, but it's the Gala Penta that will sign the sweet spot for RNG.
And the very, very small thing there that keeps Gala alive, the explosive cast wasn't on top of absolutely everybody where it could have done most damage for the side of Xiaohu. It was on top of Gala to keep him safe. Xiaohu knew where this game needed to be, and it's on the back of Gala.
And it's an 8-0-2 Kai'Sa. This is massive for RNG. And we said it, that's the job of Xiaohu in these fights, the Everfrost. It's to keep them off the backline way.
Crisp goes over with the Hex Blast. I don't believe that was the play, and you can see everyone kind of backing away a little bit. They're a little bit kind of, startled as such. 30 seconds until that Infernal Soul, and you've got the Rift Herald in mid. Ming does get caught, but he's not the target you need, FPX.
They're just desperate. They're just looking for anything. 20 seconds on this Dragon and they know there's a Rift Herald in mid. There's pressure from RNG. RNG don't even need to go for this Dragon. They can just go mid.
They can go for both. Why not both, says you. You should go in. You see the Rift Herald's doing them the job, the 6th man. This Dragon hasn't even spawned, and you can see RNG trying to find someone. Zenith Blade does not land, and they're already knocking down the inhibitor turrets. We can see LWX, Shockwave, and they're going to go in. There's going to be one for Kai'Sa. There's going to be a double again for the Kai'Sa, and it's all falling apart for FPX.
What are you doing? Everyone else in FPX was down. Even our cameraman wasn't expecting it. He was like, hang on a second, the rest of your team's over here. Look here. This is where they are. RNG, they get that soul. They'll get the Baron. What just happened, Penguin?
That's what happened. RNG is what happened. The crowd know it. They feel it as we come into this grand finals. RNG got slapped by FPX. No one was giving them a hope or a prayer if you were anyway looking at these games, but they are now in game 3. Baron, Infernal Soul, an incredibly fed Kai'Sa who's just a million miles ahead of LWX, and let's have a look what happened.
I mean, they just get on towards the end. The shockwave as well was perfect, and yeah.
They just haven't got the damage.
There's just nothing in the tank. I mean, 10 kills now for the Kai'Sa. The Collector picked up, the Ruined Hurricane picked up, a bloody GA is on the way. Gala is going to be impossible to deal with in these fights, and you know he's feeling himself. When you are 3 levels above the Volley Bear and you are going on Killer Instinct to pick off the tank jungler, you know things are going well for this AD carry.
Not only that, but you have the backing of everybody. The instant decision there, you can see from Cryan, ball in, Shockwave, this guy does not die. That is the call, and we've seen it consistently in this game. We tried to see it in game 1, didn't quite happen for Gala, wasn't able to make the impact. But on this Kai'Sa, on this pick, he is able to be the carry that RNG need.
And now it's free flow as RNG. You can do what you want. You got already that Kai'Sa pushing in mid lane. They're grouping on this bottom side as well. They have everything in their favor. And honestly, you can see Shem, who's up in top lane. He's just looking to add a little bit more gold into the pick, but might need to TP.
Yeah, he will need to TP, but it's actually a turnaround. Call an ambulance, but not for me. As we can see, Nuguri gets caught out, gets baited himself. He did the bait in game 1. He gets baited in game 3. Flash forward, the Kai'Sa jumps in, and that's the shockwave you want to see coming on top of this one. Doombi can do nothing on the back end. Gala picks up another game 3 match point. RNG
have smelt blood in the water. They know it's over. It's the TP map movements from RNG that will net them game 3.
This is the RNG we wanted. This is the RNG from regular split, and this RNG is 1 game away from MSI.
This is the RNG FPX dreaded. This is the first